about like that we aren't like singing his praises enough, right? But I think we do, and he absolutely deserves it. And this would be a great opportunity for him to style on T1.
I feel like there's also a difference between singing someone's praises when they're making the flashy plays and when they're being that pillar that the team relies on, and they make the quiet plays behind the team, being the leader, being the shot caller, creating everything. Exactly. But like, if you think about Faker's history as well, he started off as the guy who made the flashy plays, and now he still does make some of them, but he has become the pillar of the team that will lead them to victory, and that sometimes looks less flashy, but not less important.
Honestly, also just unlucky year when Mickey was just smurfing his ass off. You know, like, had Mickey not done that, it would have been Jankos as MVP for sure. But now, going into the bans as well, there's that Orianna we were talking about, and since T1's that red side, that means that they don't want it to be first pick. They know how scary it is. They don't want to have a lot of counters ready for it. You can't pick the Syndra either. Yone out of the way too, and they still have to go for that red side Nico. So all the options available for them, and I wonder how tryhard they're going to be with the picks they're going to come through with.
Hell nah. Okay, cool. Whenever I see a Maokai hover it there, I'm like, this is not the time to play Maokai. Wunder flashing the ultimate weapon in his hands, which is the Gragas, of course. You talked about it all the time. You call it a weak side. I call it whenever people think he's weak side, he kills them both underneath the tower, you know? Ooh.
I was scared we're going to get Jankos and Sejuani duty. I was like, okay, we're picking Maokai for him, we're picking the Sejuani. No, that's not happening.
Maybe Jankos listen.
I mean, it could be a top lane or mid lane actually still, but we're hoping it's not. And the fact that
Fun
the
is over.
Khan bot lane has been open throughout the entire day is also crazy.
No way, that didn't, like, not even one of these got played already?
There's still lots of opportunities ready for counter. We've seen some Lissandra. Leona can be good for lane too. There's something that can engage with it here. Nautilus, kind of awkward into the side, but still something Kaiser would have to go for. And there is that Yasuo. I was talking with Perks in the cafeteria, you know, who's busting it out. I'm hoping we get to see the Gragas do full wombo combo to make it work.
Oh, let's do it. Yasuo, of course, the callback to better days for Europe when, of course, Perks was playing it versus
Take
T1.
us back.
He's trying to channel it. I see it. I see you.
Yeah, Perks, of course, hoping he can do the same thing. Kaiser as well with a bar too, trying to get that priority early, see if they can make some roaming happen. We saw how Mickey did it in some of the Worlds games too. Didn't win that game, but it had a really good performance.
I was expecting something like a Nautilus here, you know, like a guaranteed knock-up for your Yasuo later on in the game. He's doing really good into the Rakan as well, but I feel for the other side, Rakan was played, but of course it wasn't in that one game that T1 was included, so now they're allowed to pick it up. But seeing both Keria and Gumayusi default into something that is heavily meta.
Oh, come on, lock it in, that's what I'm talking about!
Game 3, finals at Worlds. Faker pulls out Akali and shows the world how this champion is played.
Getting spoiled right here.
Does that count as like
an Akali.
Katarina-ish? Like, do I win?
No, you don't. Right, put it back in the shelf. It's not happening, okay? This is Yasuo cold-blooded against an Akali, and it's going to be amazing. I can already feel it. Going into the bans now.
Maybe.
I love that those maybes you throw out there. Is it a Lee Sin jungle? Maybe. Is it
no, but I think for the Yasuo particularly, right?
Oh, it's actually true. Could go down in the bot lane. We did see all G2 competitions, even when Flacket would on the roster, who could do the best Yasuo. Open. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm just saying. You win this.
You win this one.
All right. What up? A couple of more champions getting banned out. We have to remember, on top of everything, T1 can't pick. Of course, there's also 5 bans that get thrown their way by the side of Heretics as well. So to make everything extra interesting, we're going to see, or I'm looking specifically at that bot lane as well. We're going to see if it's going to come down to an R5 counter pick, perhaps coming out for Zeus as well. Who knows?
I'm looking at Oner's pool. It's been heavily pinched right now. His Lee Sin has been taken away. Of course, he played it as well, so it was banned. Things like Viego and Poppy that are really good into the Lee Sin have also been taken away. So I'm looking, like, I don't want to see any of the Maokai Sejuani shenanigans right here at all. For Oner, Wukong makes a fantastic
I mean, and it's so good too. Like, why do we do this with all the champions they can't play? It literally doesn't
matter.
We just got bust out of Poppy, keep those flexes going, see if we can stop some of the damage coming through. So far, though, there's not too much AP damage as well. Flacket in the past was not necessarily a one-trick pony, but he did bust out the things like a Seraphine as well, or Essex could come through in the bottom lane. With mid lane pick still being hovered, does keep that flex open. You were talking about Shocks, and I bow down to you. I apologize, and there you have it.
It's okay. It also brings memories back, that LeBlanc. Also, you know, Perks, RNG, game 5. Oh, God, I'm old. Anyways, Gnar locked in there for Wunder. Maybe. No, probably. Let's say that. And let's see what Zeus has in answer.
That is his anticipated matchup. Zeus kept saying, I don't care what team he's in, whatever team Wonder's playing in, I want to play him. He's R5, he does have the counter pick. Nari is usually something like you could pick Aurelia straight into it. It's going to be the Lucian. He played Vayne earlier on, so he has showed his mechanical skill on the AD carries, and this time it's going to be the Lucian piloted in the top side.
This is the third range top laner we see coming out from Zeus. I still find it quite dirty, but nonetheless, it is still a very favorable champion to be picked into the Gnar, of course, especially when the laning phase is so weak. But if Gnar does survive the laning phase, you hit level 6, your jungler comes up there, there's a big avenue to actually shut down the Lucian. It's very reliant on becoming a bit snowbally.
It is, but Wukong, on the other hand, is so strong. The setup is there, the Xayah Rakan, it's scary, guys.
I love how throughout the entire tournament, T1 have had so much playmaking potential in every single lane. Yes, we're saying that they're having fun, but they're playing very structured. They know how to play their matchups, especially when they're having these more aggressive picks and they play them to their limits. We did see Zeus solo kill over and over again. He was Tolkien on the Camille. So right here on Lucian, he could do the same.
Let's see what happens. Drakus and Vetty, do you believe in Heretics?
How could I not believe in Heretics?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Unequivocal 1,000,000% faith. The classic Yasuo bar bot lane. What is there to doubt?
It is concerning that with 8 bans in every role, by the time we entered this draft, that T1 basically drafted a world's comp outside of the Lucian top.
Yeah.
But here we are.
We also thought it was pretty funny that top lane still just keeps picking away Guma's champ.
Yeah, poor Guma. He's got like 12 bans.
He's just like, I will play AD carries now. It's fine.
This just keeps taking them away. Well, as long as they can find a win here, it will not matter.
A bit of a historic matchup, of course. Wonder, Jankos, and Perks were part of the G2 roster that did take down T1 back in the day, back in 2019. This is the roster that we casters love to talk about all the time.
It's all we have, really.
It's all we've got.
It's all we've got.
This is our moment. This is everything that our careers have been building towards. And we agree, right, that if Team Heretics or G2 win this game, that they're world champions?
I think so.
Yeah.
We learned 2 things if G2 win. We learned 1 thing if Team G2. I mean, they're just the best team in the world, right?
Yeah, that's number 1, yeah.
With 40 extra bans.
Yeah.
Sorry, caveat, asterisk with 40 extra bans.
Well, I mean, they got a world's comp, man. Look at T1.
Sure.
Wukong.
It's not my fault that no one picked, Xayah or Rakan earlier versus T1.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Kind of surprising, but...
I mean, they've got a really strong bot side. That's the easiest thing to say, with Wukong, Rakan, Xayah. This is a bot lane 2 versus 2 that gives you a lot of agency, a lot of playmaking potential, especially against a melee champion in the form of Yasuo. Top lane also has room for potential outplay, but like this could be a very volatile lane. If the Gnar or the Lucian loses their flash, there is some very serious consequences that come as a result of that.
Yep.
But we'll have to wait and see where these teams put their focus. Jankos choosing to start on the bot side of the map, Oner looking to mirror. We shall see if they go for a bit of a clash towards that top scuttle.
And have to see if Oner's just going to spend all of his time topside, as he has, in the 2 other ranged matchups that Zeus played earlier in the day. He just lived up there. It was only in the Volibear game where he finally gave him some space alone to 1v1 up against Cabo. Faker getting poked out early on, no surprises there in this matchup. We have to see what the bot lane does, though, because I feel like the Yasuo was probably always a flex, but I do feel like Perks was like, listen, Flackett, you got to take one for the team, brother.
I mean, I remember Flackett actually, back when he was on G2, he was playing a bunch of Yasuo as well. Like, I feel like that it's just a staple that if you join G2, you need to be able to play Yasuo. Wouldn't surprise me if Jankos could also play some Yasuo. But yeah, I don't fully agree that the Yasuo Bard is a lane that I love.
It does some things.
It does some things.
Not a lot of them are particularly synergistic.
Yeah, I mean, the Yasuo Gragas was the bot lane we were very used to.
Yeah. Or jungle mid combo. They had the option.
Or jungle mid combo, also a valid option for sure.
Right now, the only reliable knockback knockup you have for Yasuo is the Lee Sin kick. You can get it with Gnar, but again, not nearly as reliable. Lee Sin just gives you the freedom to point and click. So see if they can leverage that to their advantage early on. No surprise to see them get pushed in on the bottom side. Flackett and Kaiser can't do a lot to fight back at this stage.
Well, no surprise to see Perks with this level of pressure. I do expect to see full AP LeBlanc come out in this mid-lane matchup. So far, Perks has been doing a great job in the 1 versus 1. Obviously, for those long-term Perks fans, you'll know that this is one of his favorite champions, one of his most successful throughout his career as well. But Faker, no stranger to Akali. We saw throughout the World Championship how proficient he was at this champion. As we are jumping into a quick pause. Once we have a resolve, we will jump straight back into game. But yeah, a lot of tension. I feel like that the aura is different with this game for T1. You know, they obviously pay a lot of respect to the opponents they have across the other side of the rift.
Yep.
We'll see if they can be as dominant as they have been so far throughout the day. This is their 4th game of the day, and so far they're 3-0 in this theoretical best of 5.
Yeah, and the formula has basically been the same. There will be some kill trading early on, but T1 will just consistently pull ahead in the gold, whether it's through farm, whether it's through more advantageous kills, tower plates. They've been building pretty sizable advantages as early as 5 minutes into the game. Let's see if Heretics can give them a bit more contest here early on. But right now, Wonder suffering on the top side matchup. Piercing Light just hitting through those minions. Expect him to kind of suffer here for a little while. Gnar obviously just a relatively safe blind pick, but this matchup can be incredibly punishing.
Oh, nice. Very nice trade there from Perks. In his ideal world, he wants to just bully the Zakali out as much as possible, force an awkward base. Bit of a skirmish towards the top side. The problem for Jankos is that he doesn't have push in his top lane. Oner playing around that pressure that he gets from the Lucian. Kaiser's now made his way mids.
Portal through. Q. Ooh. Angle was almost good. Faker going back in. Jankos is here too.
But
Faker
no mana
ignited.
on Perks. He doesn't have the kill threat. Faker just going to take that ignite and walk it off. Will be able to sustain slowly but surely thanks to the fleet footwork in the door and shield.
Yep.
But he's doing a good job. Like, in terms of the war of attrition, he's managing well.
It did very well. Looks like Perks probably got a biscuit 4 minutes and immediately popped it based on the little spike up there in the mana pool, but it's going to be a little bit tricky if he sticks around in this lane for too long as he's Does have the TP though, can just return to lane and try to keep that pressure up. Akali, of course, fun champion. Door and shield, fleet footwork, probably some second wind. Hanging out, living through everything. We were talking about it during rehearsals yesterday. Just such a frustrating champion to lane against with that defensive utility.
I mean, Perks is doing a good job though. He's built that small CS lead, and the advantage of LeBlanc is in a side lane. You can actually match up against the Akali. It's a very difficult lane for the Akali to really kill, even if you can get some nice trades. And there's a lot of skill expression between the 1v1, which is always what you want to see when you have 2 very historic mid laners going up against each other. Credit to Flacked as well. We have seen a bit of a roam from Kaiser, but he's doing a good job in the farm department, not too far behind. Their only real deficit is on the top side of the map, but we know that Lucian is a bit of an old school counter to this Gnar, and Zeus demonstrating why.
Yeah, see how soon Wonder can get back. Maybe pick up some early tappies, make the lane a little bit easier for himself, but Zeus 44 CS already is going to be getting some pretty early item spikes. Level 6 there. Can't just cull him down. Wonder, though, luckily has the hop, able to jump over the minions. But it's looking very similar to all of the other Zeus has a ranged champion lane phases, which is he's bullying.
Oh, he's going to get dived. Wonder, you can see the Lee Sin on the way. Perks use the TP, so he can't come to help.
Wonder.
Here's Jankos.
The last light of hope. Still there as Jankos is in the area. Jankos committing onto Oner. Zeus standing in the area, but Oner just flashing back. Good heads-up play just to get out to safety. Flashing over the wall into the river surely still would have resulted into his death, but back into the arms of Zeus keeps him safe.
Yeah, I mean, very well played from Oner. The fact that Wonder was able to buy enough time for his jungler to arrive. Tower shot going to be taken. Faker getting low here.
Also, Faker hard read on the Perks snapback on the distortion. Does manage to connect the E, but Perks still winning out on the trade is big. Flacked. Looking for the knockup, looking for the angle, dashing in, keeping this one going. Guma, the pullback, Flack flashes away from it. Flack, the knockup is there! First blood, baby!
This bot lane, I underestimated. Flacken and Kaiser, 2v2 kill Gumayusi and Keria. Definitely caught me by surprise there. Really nice punish. Does cost them all their summoner spells, but the same can be said for T1's bot lane. The gold is now dead even. Let's look back at this. Knockup is going to come through from Keria soon. Oh, they actually rooted him underneath the tower, forcing an early flash out from Guma. Then the Keria knockup gets sidestepped as well. So now, with the exhaust, T1 really don't have anything left. He just flashes out the way from the feather root. Nice knockup from the Q3. And Flacked gets himself first blood. Very well played by the Team Heretics bottom lane.
Getting Keria's flash as well is pretty big there, especially because level 6 right around the corner. You're able to land another binding. It could be a pretty easy kill. Kaiser has Ignite available too. Level 6 for Guma, though, will obviously offer him a lot of safety. But really hard to win the all-ins against this Yasuo unless he really kind of wastes that wind wall or throws it away.
I mean, this is an exciting time, given T1's dominance, reigning world champions, to be able to get a 2v2 kill like that. Going to immediately raise your morale.
Yeah.
Perks has been doing well in the 1v1. Faker, though, doing a decent job himself, keeping the CS relatively close. Top lane is where we see the biggest discrepancy with Zeus, building a massive CS advantage, getting closer to that first major item.
Kaiser taking the bad end of that trade there, but starting to throw back just a few extra autos. Jankos is here. Knockup could be there. Guma already level 6, so they might have to prioritize Keria. It'll be hard to lock down that Rakan.
I do think the Jankos could look for a few plays around mids. LeBlanc plus Lee Sin is a devastating mid-jungle combo. But so far, he hasn't really hovered around there.
Portal through. Q3 ready to go. If he manages to kick, they can instantly combo. Feathers can fly, but he just doesn't have the time. Perfectly layered CC.
They make it look easy. Flash from Jankos into the ultimate. And there is no opportunity for Gumayusi to use his ultimate. Gumayusi now at 0 and 2. And Heretics have actually been able to get themselves a very small gold lead. Kaiser now looking for Faker. Won't find him though.
And that's pretty massive. If they can keep pressure on the bottom side, it frees Jankos up to start to contest a little bit more, to pay more attention to the mid lane. You can see it already means that Kaiser gets to show up here in mid as well. And does mean that as strong as Zeus is on the top side, there's now pressure for him to grow this lead further. Oner's here too. They know this is the weak point right now for Team Heretics. Oner's probably dead.
They're trying to, yeah, with the Herald as well. He's not going to have many avenues of escape. He knows that Jankos is on the bot side of the map.
He can die to the Beyblade or the double pistols. Oh, gonna sidestep the double pistols. The Beyblade won't even be necessary as Oner just barely able to walk away, but that is Herald crashing in on the top side as Perks and Faker. Going toe-to-toe, flash in from Kaiser, not quite able to connect on the Q to find the stun, but here comes Jankos. Sonic Wave, resonating strike, quick kill pickup.
Faker doesn't bother flashing. He doesn't think that it's worth it. And that means that another kill goes over to Heretics. The gold still sits in the lead for T1 because of the pressure that they're putting top lane.
But only slightly.
But only slightly.
This is the best early game we've seen from any of the teams competing thus far. Blackhead not quite able to sidestep there, but does get the wind wall out in time just to make sure the trade isn't too disadvantageous.
I mean, Zeus is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But for the time being, the bot side of the map is looking very good for Heretics. Kaiser flashes in, tries to use the minion to root up Faker, doesn't quite connect it. The Ignite does reveal him. Jankos then applies the slow with the smite. Faker says that the flash isn't worth it. Doesn't have the E, doesn't really have any other way to get out, so doesn't bother taking the gamble. Instead, will hold on to his flash for now.
Yep, accept death there so you can maybe get away from the next play that happens around the mid lane, or make a play of your own. Faker, Sork Shoes, Hextech Alternator, decent burst damage, but Kaiser lives here.
On the roam again, yeah, we haven't really seen Keria get out onto the map much this game. It's all been about Kaiser using this Bard to roam around, putting consistent pressure onto Faker.
Yeah. Credit to Guma as well, despite the scoreline being in favor of Flackhead. Guma pretty solidly ahead in terms of CS. Keria on the way down, however. Flackhead maybe forced to use the wind wall here, blocking the double daggers.
Nice trade from Gumayusi though, pushing Flackhead back. He's going to be forced to base now. We can see Jankos hovering around the top side of the map, but I believe that T1 is aware of his presence. Yeah, that ward is sitting there. Is that a control ward? It is being pinged right now.
Perks. Ooh, he's debating. Does spot Faker there.
Jankos going to get level 8, look to reset. But a surprisingly slow game so far. I imagine the team fights are going to be explosive. Dragon not for another 3 minutes. Herald not spawning for a while as well.
Very good back for Jankos though. 11-minute Gore Drinker. Definitely going to feel good. Will he do the Oner strategy and accept every Q as a challenge?
It's a great question.
I feel like this is a pretty, you know, we look at the draft, we look at the play thus far, it feels like a pretty disciplined Team Heretics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I feel like our games today have wandered between incredibly intense regional rivalries to show matches, and now this one is feeling like
the gloves are off.
The gloves are off. Pretty real deal BO1 here.
Yeah, T1 really showing their respect to Heretics. As we mentioned, a lot of very veteran players. I mean, even Flackhead and Kaiser at this point, they are no rookies by any means. Both title holders.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a roster of champions domestically. I think we saw that as well in the ban approach and the pick approach. I think T1 overall are pretty content with their draft. And we'll see how the team fights play out, because that is where T1 can be terrifying.
Jankos now looking for the lineup here, trying to take Zeus out. Wonder can go Mega. Zeus dogs back. Kaiser going to grab the kill. Solid kill on the top side. Stops that tier 1 tower from going down.
They keep making this play work, using the Bard channel to find a flank and then collapse. Now Flackhead in danger.
Dash is back into the speed up. Is forced to use the exhaust here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Perks and Faker going toe-to-toe. Faker knowing that he has the isolated 1v1. He's seen everybody on the map, but now Jankos is in the area. Perks leaping in again. Faker, 5-point strike. Not quite enough damage to finish the kill. But bot side has to concede so much. So many resources burned. Top Blackhead finding the two-man knockup. Or rather, the two-monkey knockup. It's just the copy and Oner.
TP's committed from both top laners. Wonder now here to assist the rest of the team, but T1 going to disengage. They don't want to take the fight. They have been getting plates both in top and bot. This has really been the story of the day. T1 are so good at finding these early plates that they will hold on to the gold lead even though they are down 4-1 in kills.
Yeah, and as much as getting that kill on the top side feels good to, you know, take Zeus down a peg to give a bit more space for Wonder to play the game, it costs you a couple of plates on the bottom side. Ultimately even in gold at best, but potentially losing out on some other opportunities. Perks getting chunked out here. Pretty difficult. 38 seconds until Cloud will be up. Perks no TP, so may not get the opportunity to back before that objective.
Faker doing a great job in these later laning trades now. Once Akali gets those boots, and not only did he see a Merc treads, but choosing to go for more damage from Faker's side. Along with the Hextech Alternator, you really have a lot of trading power on the Akali, and Faker really taking full advantage of that. Starting to bully Perks out of the lane, catching up in farm.
Yeah, I feel like kind of knows the pressure is on Perks to try to build a greater advantage. Probably going to be a tough threat to deal with. Of course, while you don't have you know, a traditional AD carry, Kaiser's going to be very vulnerable if Faker ever gets on top of him. Blackhead has to be careful as well. So much he also has strength, of course, is how slippery he is and the ability for Windwall to mitigate a lot of threat. But once you get on top of him, if he's not ahead, all can fall apart pretty quickly. Faker level 11, eyes in the pit. Knows that this is happening. They're just going to try to burst it down. Yanko's going to take that one. Leaps in, gets the portal out, and again, clean play from the side of Team Heretics. Yes, T1 are pulling ahead in gold, but 2 Drakes, the side of Heretics at least, to feel a little bit better.
Nice use of the ward there. I wonder if he was worried about Oner getting a knock-up with the ultimate, trapping him in the pit. Regardless, he does get away to safety. Tier 1 see this as a window to go and secure themselves the Herald. This could unlock the mid Tier 1. Tier 1 Siege, I mean, they do have 280 carries, but you have to bear in mind that relatively short range. Against a LeBlanc, it can be pretty dangerous. Still, I don't think that Siege is the worst, but with a Herald, they could easily break open this mid Tier 1 and unlock the map more, allowing them more access into the enemy jungle.
Yep. And you know, Oner's going to get very scary if he's allowed all that access to the enemy jungle into the fog of war. Makes it so much harder for Team Heretics to play the game.
But Tier 1 just playing the map very well. They've rebuilt a 2k gold lead off the back of taking that top Tier 1. They've pretty much crippled the bot. Tier 1 mid is also very low.
Oner has not randomly walked into 4 champions in the enemy topside jungle.
That's very true.
Very out of character for how he's played the day thus far.
Yeah, he's definitely respecting Heretics a lot more than he has his other opponents throughout the day. Now contesting that crab. You'll notice that T1 definitely have a numbers advantage top lane.
Magical Journey going to take him out of safety, but you can see Zeus is starting to hurt.
Bit of hesitancy from Tier 1 to actually start this one off, but Oner will now begin it. There's Jankos cross map, stealing away the Gromp on the other side. Faker is a little bit concerned about who could be here. He knows that he's the weak side. Perks trying to pressure on this tower. All right, Herald unlocked for T1. Can Heretics trade it for a tower? I don't know if they can. First item completed for Faker. He may very well go for a fight here.
Nice. Knockup not going to connect on the Keria. Perks poking a little bit. Kaiser flash forward. That was sick from the Bard. Oner now on the run. He's trying to turn this play back. Perks getting lower and lower. Locked to the Iron Solari there just in time. Tower taken out of the equation, but the TP now coming in. Remember, Faker going back with a big pocket full of money, so gonna have some strong items here. Need to see Large Rod as well as the Proto Belt now, gonna make him that much harder to lock down and take out, that much more threatening to the back line. So it starts as a decent play in favor of Team Heretics, but T1 just gonna walk in, one-shot that tower. I feel pretty good about the exchange as Faker now getting aggressive here. Knock up.
In.
Nice dash back from Flat. It's just too good! They just can't hit him!
Faker nearly getting a kill onto Flackhead. And look at how quickly Tier 1 are snowballing this game. It was very even, but they've just played the lane pressure so well. All 3 out of towers now gone. Perks is trying to get something in the bot lane, but he's going to be a little slow to get this. The vision from Tier 1 is also incredibly deep. And it's crazy to see how well Tier 1 have kind of transitioned from this early to mid game, and now how they find themselves in a very powerful position.
Yeah. You see Perks immediately backing off there. He knows Faker doesn't have ultimate. He did use it in the mid lane against Flackhead. but doesn't want to risk anything, doesn't want to overstay. Not entirely sure where the rest of T1 are. Now can see everybody but Guma, however, so maybe feeling a bit more confident as he's stuck around on the bottom side of the map. Flakkid, 1 item completed, slowly working towards what I assume will be a BT, but we'll have to see.
We'll have to wait and see what direction he chooses to go. Items continuing to be completed on both sides. But it feels like the T1 just have so much more control of the map right now. Their line assignments continue to be good. You can see Akali with the advantage in mid. Zeus holding on to his advantage top, a 40 CS discrepancy now building between the two 80 carries.
And I think this is the struggle of a champion like Yasuo bot lane. As much as Kaiser and Flakkid have had a fantastic game thus far, Kaiser especially, at the end of the day, as we get later and later in the game, what are you going to prefer to have on your team comp, you know?
Well, they've got 2 80 carries and you've got none.
Yeah, well, you got a 1.5 item Xayah versus a 1.5 item Yasuo, and I think that...
Yeah, that range is going to be interesting for sure. These fights, I don't think they're that easy for Heretics to play. Maybe I'm wrong, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's T1 that hold on to that pressure. 3K, 4K is the goal lead, give or take. Dragon being style, looks like Heretics aren't even going to try and contest this.
Ooh, Perks. Tempted to walk in, just barely misses Oner on that one. Oner will now know that he's in the area, can hold on to the smite. Use it to the last second just to make sure LeBlanc has no steal potential as Faker just continues to threaten every time Rocket Belt is up and available. But the top side for Heretics seems to be the counterplay here. Want to get just a little bit of something done. T1 now looking to respond, however, just allow that Herald to crash in the mid lane, get a bit of damage on the tier 2, and instead punish Team Heretics for overextending. Flakkid needs to get the hell out. Jankos could leap to him in a brief moment. Kick back onto 2. Flakkid obviously not going to ult on that one as the Herald charge is denied mid lane by Kaiser.
The camps are going to be stolen by T1. They're getting good control around the Baron. I don't know if they... I mean, they could use it to force a fight early. They must feel very strong right now. 2 item spikes secured for Zeus.
Ooh, Perks immediately forced to double dash. He now has to dash back to the previous distortion mark as Faker does use the ultimate. R2 on the perfect execution available. Faker will make it out to safety. Shuriken flip used as well. He's out of cooldowns, but he has tons of energy and he wants to go right back in. Shroud down, Flakkid. Wind wall comes through, immediately trying to lock up Guma. Do they have the damage to burn him down? No, this time around the feathers will fly. Guma has not pulled them back yet. Team Heretics have to be careful about stepping forward. They'll be okay for now. Oner just continuing to posture, but T1 pushing Heretics back, getting a lot of relevant abilities out.
I mean, T1 play right at the edge. I like that knock-up engage from Flakkid, but he's the one that's forced to flash away to safety. Faker also losing his flash in the exchange, but no one loses their life. The Baron is still up, of course, and likely to be the next major objective with Dragon spawning in about 3.5 minutes. Both these teams likely just to continue their farm, slowly scale up, complete those extra items. Perks, though, he knows where Zeus is.
I don't feel good about this.
Yeah, he's 1v1, no shot.
There you go, there's the TP. Dash in, just land a chain. Or buy a bit of time as Kaiser steps forward, hits the stun. Hard reads this man like his name is Dr. Seuss, just lands it on the dash.
Very nicely done there from Kaiser. Now the rest of T1 are looking to try and punish. Wonder has his eyes on the turret. Flash from Oner.
Knock up Perks, there's really just nowhere to go. He can dash back, maybe he can get tricky with the clone, but he throws the chain out. Oner will know it's the real one to get the job done there as Wonder now needs to run. Mega Gnar, not the preferred form for running away, but the Blast Cone is there to take him out to safety. Wonder debating.
Ends up being a 1-for-1 overall. Team Heretics do secure themselves the tower, but just like a very slow, methodical back and forth game between the two teams. We talked about how the tone has shifted and you can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
T1 being a lot more calculated as the Baron will now begin. There is a TP available for Perks, but it's 10 seconds away.
Zeus being in, they can burn through this Baron incredibly quickly. Kaiser has the ultimate up and available today. Well, right now, gonna buy a bit more time, slow the Baron down just a little bit. Flakkid waiting off to the side. What's the angle here? 4K getting lower. Faker immediately into the backline. Jankos with a kickback, trying to lock up Zeus, but now it's Flakkid amidst the entire team, dashing and trying to get his way out to safety, but he just gets shredded alive. Keria not even gonna go down. T1 disciplined on the Baron, grabbing the kills, taking the objective. Now looking to Cole Wonder out of the equation. Using the portal from Kaiser to get that much closer to the Team Heretics top laner. Faker should just finish this one off, a matter of time. Zeus will grab the kill. T1 getting the Baron and walking away.
I mean, disciplined is the right word for it. T1 with fantastic execution around that Baron. Just from start to finish, the moment that the engage came through from Team Heretics, T1 were quick to kind of isolate the engaged Flakkid, and the backup from Team Heretics really couldn't do anything. Like, Watch how they'll kind of isolate Jankos here and they'll one-shot him before he can really do anything else. He gets a good kick, but the follow-up from the rest of the team just isn't there. Look, nice flash kick, follow-up, but he's now executed by Faker. Only now has Perks arrived. Kaiser and Wonder didn't even have his Mega Gnar. A disjointed fight that T1 is very quick to pounce on. They get themselves the Baron and they get themselves 3 kills.
And really for any team, even if it's not T1 that you're playing up against, if you don't pull the trigger, if you don't engage perfectly as Team Heretics, you do just get shredded. It's double 80 carries. See Akali, as the knockup comes through onto Flacken, and he will just get instantly cut down. That's the stun into the wall, though. Wonder getting bigger and bigger. Mega Gnar on the way. The pushback there, but not going to connect on any real members of T1. Zeus getting kicked back as well. The Q going to connect. Jankos now going in, trying to finish the job, but Zeus is still standing. Keria there to provide the shield. Another stun connecting from Kaiser. It's clean. Perks finding Zeus. Faker now looking for the follow-up onto Perks. Can he find the right target? Kaiser getting lower and lower. One more 5-point strike. Not quite enough damage as T1 continue to step in. Wonder now backing away. Faker just looking to finish this kill. Wonder buying as much time as possible for the rest of the lineup. Faker taking another chunk of damage. Faker on a killing spree. Perks looking to finish this one. Times the distortion. Right. Hits it. Shut down. Brief glimmer of hope for the side of Team Heretics, but T1 taking so much of the base.
Okay, well, T1 playing with their food a little bit there. They looked for kills. They forewent the inhibitor in exchange for trying to go for these fights. That may very well cost them the dragon. TP is available on Faker, but that's 30 seconds away. Gumayusi going to make his way back out onto the map. The question is, can Jankos get there in time? Well, the answer to that is yes, he is here. And here we go.
Oner doesn't even really have the capacity to stay in the area at this stage. Taking a decent chunk of damage. Q is there, but it's only going to hit on the Wukong clone. Objective bounty available for Team Heretics if they can get this one. Huge damage on the Keria. Kaiser just trying to zone off as best as he can. Flacka just throwing out the tornado, hoping to hit somebody. 2 members going golden. Do they want to go for the objective? It looks like the answer is yes. They're not looking to follow up here. Oner trying to follow up, and immediately they just go through the portal. A clean Steel Tempest from Flacka to knock up 3 and ensure their escape. Zeus looking to finish the job with the calling. He will get it done. Team Heretics need to get the hell out. This is not their fight. 1 member already picked off. Perks trying to make the difference at the backside. 2-man knockup from Flacka. It's big. Wonder needs to find the angle. He knocks 1 back into the wall, but it is only Oner. Faker on the backside. 1v1ing Jankos effortlessly. It is Perks and Wonder versus the world. Crunch coming out. Wonder jumping out to safety. Oner on the chase, though. Guma in the area. Keria on the way, too. Mininar going to give him a bit of a movement speed steroid. And zoom out for a brief moment, but Oner already has the clone ready. Just going to finish him off. T1 again taking the fight.
I mean, T1 may have spent a little too long chasing for kills because it's going to be difficult from this point to be able to siege. But you know what? T1, they know the position that they're in. They know that they're extremely far ahead, and they're going to be happy with their current state. Faker looking to secure that tier 2 in the bot lane. Level 16 on the Akali. 4-2 and 4 alongside his jungler, 4-0 and 5.
Now,
criticism thrown towards Oner earlier, but now that he is focused, he is on his game. Nice knock up there from Flacka to buy a little bit of time, but the TP comes in from Faker. A nice ultimate from Zeus. Kaiser doesn't have anywhere that he can go. Flacka gets completely torn to shreds by the mid-jungle duo of T1. A good ultimate from Flacka isn't quite enough. While Wonder does get a kill on the backside, it's T1 that end up cleaning up the fight.
And a big shutdown onto Oner.
Cast the curse.
Hey, there it is.
At its finest.
Praise him and he dies immediately.
Isolated from the rest of his team. It's all right, Oner. Your Lee Sin, your Wukong.
He does at least minimum 1 per game. He had the 1 in the Lee Sin game. He had 1 this game. He had like 7 in the Briar and Zac games combined. So, you know.
Still an incredible performance overall. He had some fantastic Lee Sin kicks earlier. And some of his engages on the Wukong have been stellar. Now, support or combat, Kaiser and Keria both arguing over who has the better K name. The battle is yet to be decided, Dracos.
That's what they got on stage today and said, who has the better name?
13-11 is the kill score.
Yeah, it's surprisingly close in the kill department for how not close it is in the goal. Yeah.
Oh, fake a flash. Oh, okay, so Oner was mainly covering for his mid lane and then chooses to base in a water bush. You know what? He's not at fault for that. I mean, maybe you could argue that he shouldn't have backed in that bush, but that was less egregious than some of his earlier errors.
Maybe you could argue that was not the place that he should recall. Maybe.
Maybe.
But only maybe.
But I don't have the authority to...
I can't say.
Yeah, I can't say.
Was that the place you should have recalled? Who can say?
It's outside my area of expertise.
Yeah, not outside my jurisdiction.
Yeah,
exactly.
Certainly. Baron now, 40 seconds. T1 already setting up. This will likely be our final battle. As T1 will look to try and close things out here unless Team Heretics can find a miracle fight that will swing this game around.
The good news, if you are a Team Heretics fan, there's 2 items on Perks. The bad news, and they're good items. 2.5 items. 2.5 items on Flat Kid. Bad news is there are 3 items on Guma, the 80 carry. There are 3 items on Zeus, the other 80 carry. 2.5 items on Wukong, who at this point, screw it, 80 carry. So, it's looking grim.
Certainly is. And here we are, Baron's going to spawn and immediately it's going to get started up. Faker pushed out top wave, level 17 now.
TP
and this
in.
is going to melt. Here we go.
One final stand. Baron goes golden, Faker off to the side, immediate engage coming through, but Zeus can't quite get over the wall. The coin now coming out, the follow-up over the wall is massive. Feathers fly and are pulled right back. T1, they're obliterating Team Heretics. That was not close, that was not a fight, that was a slaughter. T1 taking their time, the feathers are pulled back. It is a massive ace.
I mean, the name of the ability is perfect execution, and that's exactly what that was. T1, zero hesitation, flawlessly ace Team Heretics, and they're going to look to end the game.
Yep. I'll say if this is Mortal Kombat, that's a brutality right there.
Oh, yeah.
My man's missing his head. There's no coming back from that one. T1, it'll be a bit of a slow victory lap here as there's no one here to contest the Nexus, but a well-earned victory nonetheless. Team Heretics will not be able to find the edge. T1 remain undefeated on the day.